everybody, today is June 20th and you are listening to another episode of the Twoonie Bin. My name's Kay.
And my name's Gray. How's everyone doing on this lovely, depending on where you are, day? We've got 4 stories for you today. It's one of those weeks where there's not a whole lot of high impact news going on, but we got lots of great impact news to share with you. We're going to do a little bit about how Russia wants to be BFFs with us again. Not that we were BFFs in the past, but they'd love to rejoin that club. We're also going to talk a little bit about Trump. We haven't gotten too much into Trump, but a former president of Mexico has warned that once Trump's done with Mexico, he's headed to Canada next to eviscerate us as well. Kay, what do you got for us?
We're also going to be talking about a security risk at the Pride Parade in Toronto. And we could be looking at a new form of currency.
We are looking at a new form of currency. I actually already looked at it. It looks pretty cool. But yes, we're going to jump right into our first story.
Actually, before we get started, yesterday was Father's Day, so I would like to wish all the fathers there Happy Father's Day. I hope you were spoiled the way that you guys all deserve.
Absolutely. I gave my dad a shout out from Toronto. It's where I spent most of the day yesterday. It was a fantastic time. But I'm sure you probably watched the MMVAs on TV, so I don't need to tell you about how that went. Anyway, we're going to start off with Russia and how Vladimir Putin, he came out this week and he said that he would like to normalize relations with Canada. He said that even Justin Trudeau himself wanted to take paths to normalize relations, and Mr. Putin had also said that both sides need to take steps towards normalizing relations, but they wouldn't say what those steps would be. My take on this is it's a tough one, because there's a reason we don't have normal relations with Russia, and the first of which is they annexed a foreign country's territory. They went right after it, and this was a few years back, and the Harper government pretty much just said, screw you guys, we don't want to talk with you anymore. This is not how you conduct business on the international scale. We don't go around annexing parts of countries because we feel like it. But it's been a couple of years, and we have to start looking at it from a different perspective. The perspective that I'm using is, let's say you have a best friend, and this best friend has another friend who is in a bad relationship. And the bad relationship, it's really taking a toll on this person. Your best friend is saying, well, why don't you break up and then we'll spend more time together. Come move in with me. Don't worry about it. And you, what's that to you?
Exactly.
Yeah. And case in point, there was a referendum in Crimea, and 96% of people who voted wanted to join Russia, and that's when it kind of became official. I don't know if you could call it official. We don't really know what went on behind the scenes, but that's what happened. Okay, what do you think?
No, I totally think that we could definitely benefit from a stronger relationship with Russia. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, what harm is it really going to do? Russia's doing a lot right now to follow UN policies and whatnot. So, I mean, they're doing their part to do what they are being told to do. Why not strengthen that relationship between our two countries? Especially if things in the States start going sour, it would be great to have another great ally on our side.
And depending on what happens in November of this year, that could well happen. It's tough to say.
It is really tough, and I mean, it's going to be... Usually us Canadians don't follow American politics that much.
Speak for yourself, Kayla.
You're a different story there, Gray. But, I mean, this year is going to be a very monumental year on who becomes president.
Say the least.
I mean...
I still say Bernie, but...
I say Bernie too, but we all know
we have to
that...
be realistic. Yeah. Money won this election already.
Most definitely. Yeah. And for all you guys that don't know, take a look back at our very first episode there. We talked about the American politics and about Bernie Sanders and everything like that as well. So if you want to recap yourself and understand our points of views, go back to that first episode.
Good idea. Rewatch. pretty much done on the topic. I think it's a good idea too, but I really, really have to question if there is another motive behind it. I mean, we've already talked about Russian planes in our airspace helping to fight the Fort McMurray fires. They made the offer. We never responded to it. Although we had reasons for not responding to it. There's no real point. It's a wildfire. Let it burn. Just keep it away from the cities. I'm going to say it's not a bad idea to explore. It's really not.
No. I mean, what do we have to lose if we're just building more allies?
That's exactly right.
And I mean, it's not like we're going to throw ourselves at them with open arms. We're going to slowly walk towards that direction. So, I mean, if anything bad happens along the way, we're going to make sure that our asses are covered first. So.
We have to do that first, absolutely.
So our next story here is about a security risk to the Toronto Pride Parade. Now this, the reason why there's going to be ongoing security checks for this Pride Parade is because on an pro-ISIL propaganda channel, which is just a Telegram channel that promotes ISIL, they singled out the Pride Parade there in Toronto, providing date, time, location, and everything like that, and pretty much made a threat on their channel there. And the U.S.-based Middle East Media Research Institute was the first people to notice this and then brought it up to our attention there. So, I mean, this could be a very serious thing.
Absolutely. And don't kid yourselves. The guy who attacked Parliament Hill and killed the soldier standing on duty at the National War Memorial, he was influenced by ISIS as well. So this could be a real threat.
Yeah, and I mean, with what just happened there in Orlando as well, who knows if some person that is very anti-gay will just decide to take up courage and be like, you know what, this happened down in Orlando, why can't I do the same thing?
And that's not what we need around here.
No, most definitely not. So, what an image on the messaging site MEMRI said is that the Toronto Gay Pride is an excellent target. Plenty of Kaffir sodomites to kill.
Oh.
It is one of the biggest pride parades in Canada.
And in North America as well. It
Yeah.
might even be the largest in the world, I'm not sure, but it's definitely a large, massive event. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau plans on attending as well, so that's not helping the whole security factor.
And a lot of people that are going to Toronto's Pride Parade this year will be going in memorial of those who suffered at the Orlando shooting there as well. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, because of what happened there in Orlando, want to stand in solidarity with Orlando. Mm-hmm. And make it known that you can't live in fear, that we are here, we are proud, we are going to do what it takes to make sure that this discrimination ends. So, I mean, this could be the biggest Pride Parade ever.
I think it will be too. I mean, I don't know too much of the statistics on it, but it's huge. It's a huge, huge draw for the city of Toronto every year. It's a massive event. People from all over come visit.
Now, what was read in a second image there was pick a target and start shooting.
Oh, gosh.
We will bring war in your countries. Orlando was just the beginning. So, of course, there is no correlation between the Orlando attacks and ISIS, but it could have been done because of this propaganda channel that they have. So, I mean, with them saying that this kind of stuff, we should start expecting it to happen elsewhere as well. Not just here in Canada, not just in the States, but other countries there as well. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's a propaganda channel, so anybody can look at that. Anybody who has a hate and believes what's being said on that screen will just go up and do it. They don't have to say that they're doing it for ISIS. They're going to do it out of the fact that they're making their hate sound rational. So I mean, this could be an extreme attack. Hopefully, security is upped during this Pride Parade. But, I mean, I pray for the safety of everybody that plans on going this year. I know a lot of people do because of what happened there in Orlando. So, I mean, it's going to be a huge event, and I just hope everybody stays safe and that security does their job and hopefully nobody gets hurt.
I'm not too worried about it personally. I mean, first off, let's figure out exactly how the Orlando shooting happened. They needed a gun. They needed an assault weapon. And they had it. Here in Canada, good luck getting that sort of assault weapon.
There is a black market, though.
There is a black market, you're right, but they're not readily available. You can't just, as they do in the States, go to a gun show and buy a gun without ID. What scares me, and this is a thought that just came to mind as you were talking, Kay, it is that, let's say, the police direct a lot of their resources to that particular festival, which is perfectly fine, but let's say they decide to attack a different part of the city at the same time, where there's very few resources. We all know Toronto's gridlocked. We all know that there's going to be a massive target in downtown, but what if they decide to go elsewhere?
Well, I'm sure that for this event that the city of Toronto, will be asking for reinforcements from neighboring counties.
I'm sure they'll come in.
And regions. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
but that's what I'm scared of. It's just direct all your.
Well, they could just hire security personnel too from security companies.
I'm sure they already have.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, there's different ways to make sure that the security gets bumped up without losing all your resources. So you're still doing your normal job with making sure that this event stays safe. Mm-hmm. It's a big shock to have them single out a Canadian city in an ISIS propaganda channel. Like, I'm kind of taken back from that. Mm-hmm. That is huge. And I mean, I hope everybody, because this is Pride Month right now, so I hope everybody stays safe. Be extra careful. Make sure you let people know where you're going, especially if you are part of the LGBT community or so.
LGBT. I wish I know this.
I don't.
We used to say gay and lesbian community, but now it's very, very inclusive. I think T is at the end. LGBTQ. Q, there we are. That's it.
So LGBTQ.
I apologize to everybody, but we at least...
There's so many, though. As long as we get on the right page, I'm sure nobody will get offended. But I hope everybody, especially if you're part of that community, is extra careful coming up. I mean, who knows what will happen. And I just hope really nothing happens like Orlando again.
Me neither. Speaking of dangerous things, we are hearing from the former president of Mexico, Mr. Vicente Fox, that Donald Trump, once he's finished eviscerating Mexico, he's going to come after Canada. And he has some harsh words. Once I pull them up on my phone, because my phone went dark. He's saying, Canada, please watch out, because today this guy goes crazy against Mexico, and later he will do it to Canada. He will declare a trade war with Canada. That's a lose-lose proposition. Everyone will lose things like that. He's threatening NAFTA. That's absolutely stupid. Trump has called that trade deal, the North American Free Trade Agreement, a disaster. It was created in 1994 and has created millions of jobs here in Canada. But Mr. Trump has said the deal has hollowed out the manufacturing industry in the United States, sending millions of jobs to Mexico. Mr. Trump's obviously tapped into a large base by making that claim, and it's making it the impact that's brought him to the leadership of the Republican Party. Mr. Fox has said that the view that they're being defrauded, that the United States is being defrauded by all these other countries that they're in trade deals with, is dangerously misguided, threatening to destroy a trade deal that has created millions of new jobs. He's not looking at the results. He's just looking to please the U.S. electorate. Trading is very positive. a very positive economic issue that brings in development, jobs, and wealth to nations that trade. He cannot enclose the United States within the four walls. It's stupid thinking, and it's all based on fear. I agree with Mr. Trump in the sense that it looks like it's a hollowing out, and many people are losing their jobs, but there is a bigger picture.
There most definitely is. And the thing is with Trump, too, he's a wild card. So you don't know if what he's saying he actually means, if he's actually going to follow through.
You could well forget what he said, too.
Yeah, who knows what will happen if Trump becomes president? Who knows? Maybe he'll leave things be. Maybe he'll do what he's saying he's going to do. Who knows? And I mean, he did make a tweet there saying that Canadians are
snow Mexicans.
Yeah, snow Mexicans.
Hashtag snow Mexicans trending on Twitter for a little bit there.
Mind you, I don't mind being called a snow Mexican, but still, I mean, that's throwing some hate our way from the States, and maybe becoming allies there with Russia wouldn't be a bad thing in this case, but
that would piss them off so much.
It would.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Fox has also said that Canada and Mexico should band together and denounce Trump and his anti-trade policies.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that. That's accurate. That's responsible. It's almost required at this point.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what he said, but I do know Justin Trudeau came out with a statement saying that it's not our job as Canadians to get into the politics of other countries, but he is not going to stand idly by while discrimination is widely spread.
I agree with him completely there.
Now, like I said, I don't know if that's exactly what was said, but that was the gist of it.
Yeah. Yep. My take on this is the Trump story, as always, is unfolding. It's been unfolding for a year. His poll numbers are going down as well. That's something to see if it's just a blip or if it's a long-term trend. We're going to find out. It's just going to make a very interesting election down there. But in the meantime, Mr. Fox is right. We all need to join forces, Canada and Mexico, and say, listen, you're being stupid. But watch Trump take that to his advantage too, and just say that's just the other countries trying to protect the jobs they stole from us. It's very tough. It's a tight rope to walk. But speaking of money,
so yeah, talking about money, we have a new kind of currency here in Canada. We now have Star Trek money.
Star Trek money. We need our applause sounds going in the background. We don't have that yet.
No, you can get the Star Trek currency available to you by the Royal Canadian Mint. Now, I highly recommend you guys Google these pieces. They look amazing. They're definitely Star Trek. Definitely. So there's $10 colored coins. They'll say $10 on them. They're featuring Kirk, Spock, Uhura, and Scotty, and they're being sold for just slightly above face value. And then there's $20 coins featuring the Enterprise, which are being sold at face value. So I mean, if you have an extra $20 there in your pocket and you want something very memorial, I would suggest picking up one of these coins. Also, there are silver coins with the Enterprise that are going for about $100. And even though it only has $20 in face value,
if you wanted
the comparison to the pure gold Star Trek Delta coin, that's currently like going up to about $200 there, even though.
And that coin's it's based on that Starfleet insignia that the crew wears on their shirts. It's kind of a highly coveted item for, I'm sure, a lot of people.
Now, personally, I love this idea.
I know.
You've
been gushing ever since you heard about it.
I have been. I've never really been a huge Star Trek fan. But I have watched a couple of episodes here and there. I'm more Star Wars, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm part of the Star Wars bandwagon, but I mean,
I'm sure
I love
there's
this.
a lot of people that they're saying, don't apologize, we love you.
But I love this idea. The Star Trek currency, something unique that you can get now at the post office, which is where I usually go to get my mint coins. But I mean, it's something interesting and something that U.S. hasn't even done yet, and it's an American show. So
the Americans aren't even on board with the $1 coin. It's amazing, but you should see Kay's coin collection. It is beyond ginormous.
I have a penny from 1911.
That's better than my 1928. And I don't even know where that one is. But
I even have coins from 1950s from Germany that have like the swastika on it and stuff.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Whoa. That's like, whoa.
Like, I have ancient World War I and World War II coins. It's amazing. But yeah, I would love to add this to my collection.
And then there's me saying, how come they didn't just print a whole bunch of those regular ones in 25-cent pieces? Just regular circulated currency that just goes out, like they do sometimes. Unless they reserve that just for Canadiana. In which case, I would love to see the littlest hobo want a coin.
Well, they might. Who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten a quarter recently, so I do need to go to the bank to grab a roll. But we'll see. We'll see what's on my quarters.
I'm looking forward to looking at my quarters. I haven't really paid that much attention lately, but sometimes the designs are really good. You just have to look a little closer at the world around you.
Yeah, so unfortunately, like we said at the beginning of the show, this is a very short show for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we will definitely catch you next week there. Remember, on Thursdays, we have Historical Thursdays, where I am going to be talking about Prince Edward Island and hopefully do it live there again. I know last time I said 9, but I kind of slept in.
Sleep happens.
So I did it at about 10:30. So I'm thinking 10:30 this time too. We'll make it a 10:30 thing. At least I know I'll be awake then. So 10:30 Thursday. Catch me live on YouTube there.
That means for those of you out in Pacific time, you can tune in at 7:30 instead of 6 after you've gotten home from work.
Oh yes, that's right. Sorry, 10:30 Eastern. You're right.
Yeah. Yes, it's Eastern Standard Time here, so we apologize for that. We have one more announcement to make. Kay's looking for something on my phone, and I don't know what it is. Yes, she's pointing to an icon. We have, if you weren't aware already, I'm sure you were, but in case you weren't, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/TwoonieBin. You can follow us on Twitter, and TwoonieBin is TWOONIEBIN. Follow us on Twitter at TwoonieBin, and youtube.com/TwoonieBin is where we have all of our videos. And when we say videos, we mean audio recordings, but we will get that video camera working fairly shortly. It's coming up soon.
It most definitely is. We're starting to do our set now, and it's starting to look really nice, but we're not going to start until everything is set in stone and everything's perfect to our views, and we hope to get that up and running soon for you guys. Like I said, hopefully by July 10th there.
The set is currently cardboard. It doesn't look that fantastic.
No, but it can be.
Yep, it can be, absolutely. We just need some paint and some Bristol board and some flags. That's it.
So until next time, guys, stay tuney.
And take care, guys.